neurologist from the Marshfield Clinic. He received his medical degree from University of Arizona College of Medicine at Tucson, and he did his neurology residency at Baylor College of Medicine. He started his career at Marshfield Clinic in 1994, a dedicated educator, researcher, and I think, in fact, he's still working on research projects yet. Let's welcome Dr. Rolak.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. Can everybody hear me okay? Such a wonderful turnout. I hope you can all hear me. Thank you. It's a real pleasure to welcome everyone on this special evening when we recognize all the many graduates, all the many doctors who will be continuing on from here. We have doctors of pharmacy, we have doctors of medicine, we have fellows, residents, and many providers. So it's really been an honor to have Matt ask me to speak to you all. It's traditional at events like this that the young doctors hear from really old people, or I guess you could say experienced clinicians, that we give them a word of advice and encouragement as they leave. So when Matt was asking me to do this, he asked me to please say a few brief words, and he used the word brief 5 times during the conversation, along with some other similar expressions like restless audience and home early. So as I was thinking about what I would say, I thought about all of the graduation speeches I've had to sit through over the years. And I know you've had to sit through a lot of them too. And it occurred to me that pretty much they're all lame. I mean, you know what it's like, right? This is your average graduation speech. There's some old guy that you don't know. For most of you, that's me. And he comes out and he says a lot of touchy-feely, sort of fuzzy, fluffy stuff. Kind of like, you are the future and the hope of medicine. And keep that work-life balance. And, of course, graduation is not an ending, it's a new beginning. I mean, thank you for the sentiment, but I was sort of hoping you'd tell me something helpful that would actually be useful to me. So I decided, since I have the chance tonight, that's exactly what I'm going to do. For you graduates, tonight I'm going to tell you exactly, precisely, specifically what you need to do to be a great doctor. So I know you're thinking, who is this guy again? How is it that Dr. Rolak is so smarty pants that he knows what it's like to be a great doctor? Well, I have to admit, I never figured it out on my own. When I graduated and went out into the real world, I thought I had been lucky enough to have been well trained, and I was competent taking care of patients. But I would see doctors that were special, and I was trying to figure out, what does it really mean to be a great doctor? And I just couldn't quite get it. I spent years futilely trying to figure this out until finally I met a doctor who did know. And he told me. And he says, because he told me, I can tell you. And it was only a minor inconvenience that at the time he had been dead nearly 100 years. The doctor who figured this out, what it really takes to be great, was William Osler. And Osler was born in Canada in 1849. And after becoming a physician, he helped establish the Montreal Institute of Medicine, came to the United States, set up the medical school at Johns Hopkins University, set up all of the training that we now take for granted and still use today, wrote the definitive textbook of medicine, published more than 200 articles, discovered a dozen diseases, several of them named after him, then went to Oxford, England, became physician to the royal family, and was knighted by King George V as Sir William Osler, the most famous physician in the Western world. Everybody could see this guy was different. This guy had something other people didn't have. This guy got it when no one else did. So one day, one of his residents asked him, he said, Dr. Osler, I'm graduating. I'm going to go out into the world. I'm going to open a practice. What if no patients come to see me? What if I'm not successful? Is there anything I can do that would guarantee that I would be successful? And Osler said, yeah, I thought about that. I figured that out. I can guarantee you'll be successful. You need 3 things. First, you need to be friendly. You need to be friendly to other doctors, because they'll send you patients. And you need to be friendly to your patients, because they'll send you their neighbors. And we all think of ourselves as being friendly. I mean, I'm a nice guy, right? But are you really a good colleague to your peers? Are you really always kind to your patients? That's the first thing. The second thing is you need to be available. The answer is always yes. I've got this dumb consult I want you to see. Yes, send her over. Hey, doc, this is your nervous, neurotic patient. I've got these weird symptoms again. Can you squeeze me in today and take a look at them? Yes. And here's the call you're going to get on call, right? Yeah, hi, this is Dr. Slacker. I'm calling from Our Lady of the Inaccurate Diagnosis. And I've got this patient who's really sick. I'd like to tell you more about her, but I was never able to give a coherent history. And my physical exam sucks. And there's no use telling you about her lab, because I'm one of those doctors that orders a lot of lab and doesn't know what to do with them when they come back. And actually, the real issue here is that it's Friday afternoon and I want to go fishing this weekend. So I need to have her off my service. So is it okay if I transfer her to you? Yes. Remember, the question was not how to be a happy doctor. It was how to be a successful doctor. And then the third thing you need, Osler said, is what he called equanimity. He was a smart guy, he used big words, okay? You look it up. What it means is you don't let anything bother you. Now that's kind of interesting. What is the attribute physicians most need? Compassion, intelligence, empathy, clinical judgment? He said no. It's the ability to stay calm in any situation. So, you just made a mistake dispensing that last drug. Now what do? Jump up and down, wave your hands, and shout at the staff. No. Correct your error and calmly dispense the next medication. Your first surgical case went bad. Now what do? Your second surgical case. So, keeping calm is very important. People who get sick are often frightened, they're often nervous. They can get emotional, and one day a patient may call you and accuse you of being the worst doctor in the world. Stay steady. You're not the worst doctor in the world. That guy works for a spiral. Now, you do have skills. You're a healer now. You're going to make a lot of people happy. And someday a patient's going to call you and say, you're the best doctor in the world. Stay steady. If you start thinking you're the best doctor in the world, you're going to end up like one of those arrogant doctors that struts around thinking you're God. You probably don't know what I mean, because we don't have any of those at Marshfield. Well, anyway, in 1918, 100 years ago, a massive influenza outbreak killed millions of people around the world. One of its victims was William Osler. Before he died, he was asked how he would like to be remembered. Sir William, you're the most famous doctor in the world. You're an educator, you're a researcher, you're a clinician, you're the physician to the king. How are we going to put all of this into your obituary? And Osler said, oh, none of that is important. I actually wrote my epitaph years ago. On my tombstone, put William Osler. He taught doctors on the wards. What? Get out of town? That's it? You're the most accomplished physician in the world, and the best thing you ever did was what? Show up at 8 a.m. and make rounds? That's it? And Osler said, yes. Think about this. Where do you live? In that community where you live, what do you need? Either a YMCA, a library, in central Wisconsin, another tavern? I said, no. Osler said the greatest asset a community can have is a good doctor. Because when you feel a lump in your breast, or your husband collapses unconscious, or your child falls into the farm machinery, nothing matters. Your life stops. And nothing is important until you get to the doctor. What a gift if there is a doctor there. So Osler said yes. The most important thing I ever did was train that doctor. So I think if Osler were alive today, he would be very proud of the Marshfield Clinic, because our doctors are there in our communities taking care of our patients. And Osler would say the most important doctors at the Marshfield Clinic are the ones who show up at 8 a.m. every morning and make rounds. Because the most important thing the Marshfield Clinic has done, graduates, is train you. So tonight is your night. Tonight, you're going to get your diplomas. So this is a very special occasion. I want you to know we did this on purpose. We waited until the night you graduated to teach you your final lesson in how to be a great doctor. So most of you are going to go out in a few weeks and start your new job. Mom, Dad, I finally got a job. And on that first day, when you start your job, you say to yourself, I'm going to do what Dr. Osler told me. He said to mind my B's. Be nice, be nice, be available, and be calm. And you'll have a great career. And then, the next time you have to sit through some graduation speech, you can say to yourself, my graduation speaker was Sir William Hossler. So, tonight you're going to get your diplomas. Well deserved, well done. But tonight the rest of us are going to get something better. Tonight we're going to get that precious gift of a few really good doctors. So let's congratulate.